What if Nintendo's most iconic handheld got a full robotic upgrade? What's up, squad? I'm Dan, a professional illustrator, mech enthusiast, and lifelong Nintendo nerd. Today, I'm turning the original Game Boy into a recon mech. Modular, mission ready, and shaped by some of the weirdest accessories in gaming history. Let's start with a quick history lesson. In the 80s, Japan's tech boom turned portability into a national obsession. Cities like Tokyo and Osaka exploded with jobs, causing millions to move to these urban centers. People were now commuting hours a day and living in tight spaces. With packed trains and tiny apartments, people needed tech that can do more without taking up more space. This demand sparked a change in the Japanese electronics market, shifting its focus to compact, modular devices. Enter the Game Boy, a handheld built specifically for life on the move. From screen magnifiers to stereo speakers and link cables, the original Game Boy supported a wide range of hardware expansions. These modular attachments transformed it from a basic handheld into a fully customizable system. That adaptability is what inspired this character. I wanted each part of this design to pull directly from those iconic accessories. For example, the ARM data cord is a direct visual tie to the link cable. The shoulder cannons echo external stereo expansion, and the head is bulked up, mirroring those clunky snap-on screen magnifiers. At this point, I usually spend a minute or two walking through the inking process, but you've just seen me draw this thing, so let's not drag this out. Here's the final line work. Let's color this thing. For color, I stuck with the original Game Boy palette of off-white, slate blue, dark magenta, and that unmistakable green. The off-white body wasn't just for looks, it was a smart material choice. Plastics in the 80s had more limitations than today's blends, and brighter colors were prone to yellowing, especially with sun exposure. Since the Game Boy screen wasn't backlit, most people played in daylight. Now, onto the green, one of the Game Boy's most iconic features. That tint came from a reflective layer behind the monochrome LCD, added to improve visibility in daylight. It wasn't actually meant to stand out, but it quickly became a defining part of the hardware. I used that same green here in the Mech's visor, pushing the idea of a scanning lens. The magenta added contrast and visibility, just like the input buttons on the NES controller. Over the years, these contrasting inputs became a signature branding detail for Nintendo. I wanted to incorporate this color the same way in my design, marking key points of interest like the Mech's joints and weapon systems. Finally, slate blue handled the Game Boy's labeling, used for things like start and select. It stood out just enough to be legible without the stark contrast of black or white. Time to wrap things up with a white highlight pass. I use this on all my drawings. It's great for calling out materials, adding a bit of gloss or reflection, and separating overlapping forms in the silhouette. It's also where I drop in visual effects, like the electricity sparking from the link cable arm. With the highlights done, let's take a look at the final design. Thanks for checking out my Game Boy inspired mech. If you enjoyed seeing this design come together, hit those like and subscribe buttons. New art videos on your favorite nerd culture topics come out weekly, but in the meantime, check out this recent video on screen now. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next one.